Okay, yes. June 23rd, 2024. Hope everybody's doing good. I hadn't posted anything in a long time about Sebastian Rogers, so done some foot searches myself and stuff, but listen, with everything that's been going on in this case, I've never in my life could have dreamed, even if it was a written movie script, that it could be this screwed up with so many different characters being this screwed up. And it's just such a mystery as to what happened to this poor kid. I mean, you got this neighbor that's come out and confirmed that it's not a garbage truck in the video. It's definitely a flashlight. And if you listen to what Eric Craddock says from the Thunder County Sheriff's Department, he doesn't tell you it's a garbage truck or a flashlight. He says it has no evidentiary value. And the reason it doesn't have any evidentiary value is because it's time stamped in the date. The date is from the 23rd of February. Of course, it was broken. Everybody knows it's broken, but if it goes into a court, it's no good. You can't prove that it wasn't February 23rd and it was February 26th, really. You can't prove that it was 2 a.m., not 3:11 or whatever it was stuck on. So it has no evidentiary value. And it doesn't really show a crime being committed, but I guarantee you, Sumner County knows that that boy probably got a vehicle with somebody he knew, somebody that was able to lure him out of the house barefoot, somebody he trusted really well. Now, I know listen, I'm going to apologize to Chris and Katie Proudfoot right now. I think I was completely wrong in my theory before about she accidentally overdosed him and all this. I really think she's innocent in this. We didn't hear the interviews from the neighbors. And we didn't have all this shit going on with Seth Rogers at the time. Just the lies and the fire and all these people that are actually trying to help him, that he's not even having to pay them. They're just trying to help him. And it's like if they get close to something, he releases the phone call, on the day of court, Chris Proudfoot goes on, of Chris and Chloe, and comes out and openly blames Trevor Lee for that on Smiley's World, and he's picking on this 21-year-old guy because he's a younger, smaller guy. He's being a bully. Read the divorce papers between him and Katie. There are witnesses to the abuse he put on Sebastian. There are pictures of the abuse. There's videos of the abuse he did to Sebastian. It's very clear that he's the one that done it because he was the only parent at home when it occurred. She would be out in the field in the military while his ass was supposed to be home. And the neighbor said he leaves him at home for long periods of time while she's on deployment. And the kid comes out looking for his dad. Even Seth's like, he goes to school and told the teachers they're gonna beat his butt and all this. And I mean, he abused this kid. I know he did. There's no doubt about it. The school teacher's not gonna come in and give a written affidavit about what she witnessed, and the neighbors aren't gonna give those affidavits about what they had witnessed. And the state of California would not have taken his firearms and not given them back, and he don't have them back from him. I don't think he's going to be able to carry them because of domestic violence in any state. And I think that's what led to what he's done February 26th. I believe he went to lure Sebastian out of the house after, my best guess is, I don't know how long he's been working for Davidson County Sheriff's Department, but either the pressure built up on him there and he knew he wasn't going to make it much longer working there. Because, I mean, he got this miraculous shoulder injury, and ain't been back to work since. I mean, the guy that was by his side when he first searching, he had JLR there, video and all that, and that dude's like, yeah, go through him anything. He went with him at one search, and that dude ain't been back. Seth's ran off everybody, his pro bono private investigators. The only people he keeps around him are the ones that hang a cock out on TikTok. Does that make sense to you? Hijacks another missing kid's TikTok account to get his subscribers. I mean, it's very clear. Nobody altered this video. There's too many people with the original copy of the TikTok video. It's very clear what he was doing. And you got Psycho Sally, Bullhorn Betty is about the only damn creator that they could blackmail into following their narrative. The rest of them said, no, we're not going to do it. He didn't deny trying to get a gun from T-Rev, He didn't deny that at all. He paid over $12,000 at a GoFundMe that was supposed to go for his son, his missing kid they're so worried about. $12,000 to this girl for her mortgage payment. Why would you do that? what kind of resources you could get with 12 grand to look for your kid, how many extra days and hours, and give you an opportunity to save your missing kid. That's what that money is for you to live on and save your missing child with. You're gonna give it to her for her fucking mortgage? How's that saving your kid at all? Huh? Come on. Here's my thing though. Everybody's like, well, he was at work on that. Yeah, he works at Davis County Sheriff's Department as a jailer, right? At night shift. He's on night shift. So he's probably in there either monitoring the closed circuit monitors at night, because the inmates are in the bed. He ain't up dealing with all these damn inmates running around like everybody thinks. They're on the bed. They're asleep. And everybody that has a job that works, 8 hours at least, and he works 12-hour shifts, gets a lunch break. You get a dinner break. And when you work for a government facility, a county, a city, I've worked for multiple government agencies, multiple local governments, in the Army for 13 years. You always get an hour and a half for lunch, right? Most of them don't even use time clocks. Most of the time, the manager there have a time sheet. They write everybody's name down, and they're not on a point system. There's no excessive absences and all that, because most government jobs, you can't just be outright fired. It has to be a vote taken. You have to go to meetings. It's a process to get rid of somebody once they're hired into these jobs. It's really hard to get rid of them sometimes. It has to be a very clear, either break the law or they just quit, don't come back. I mean, anybody that works for these know that, like, you work for your local city government, your manager can't just tell you you're fired, get out of here. They have to take it to an alderman meeting. They all have to vote on it. The alderman, mayor, everybody has to vote on this. You have to be a majority vote. Whichever way the majority goes, what happens? They can vote to keep you, go against the manager's wishes, because it's set up for your security, so people cannot use the buddy system, and they can't hold this shit over your head or anything. It probably wouldn't work in the industrial setting at all, because that's the turnover rate. But you're talking 12 or 13 employees usually at these local municipalities. So Davidson County is a big municipality, though. They probably got more workers, but they probably all under different managers there, and the sheriff being the main manager from Davidson County. And I mean, they may do it by floors, but on a night shift there, they got a couple of intake officers to take the people in. They get brought in that night by the deputies, book them in, and you probably got one jailer, or maybe two per pod after that, one watching the cameras, and maybe one roving, but they all get a lunch break. Every freaking one of them get a lunch break. Now, here's my thing. He's there for 12 hours. I almost bet my life, TBI, or whoever went and looked for his, to make sure he was at work, probably spoke to somebody, and they were like, yeah, he was here all night. They didn't account for his dinner break, hour and a half, easy. More than like an hour and a half. They probably take a break every other hour. I mean, it's just however you rotate out on these jobs usually. Anyway, where he worked at is like a 28-minute drive from Chris and Katie's house. He lives an hour and a half from them. He works 28 minutes from them. If he left that sheriff's department to go on his lunch break, say at 2 o'clock in the morning, hit the interstate to go to their house, he could have knocked 8 minutes off it each way. Easy. No traffic. No hung up red lights. No congestion. Straight shot. And the only reason listen, he's the only guy that's got motive for it. He's the only parent that has life insurance on Sebastián. Sebastián was going to come stay with him. He didn't want to come and stay with his dad. Katie did not want to let him go stay with his dad. That don't make any sense, does it? But you got to look at the divorce papers and the abuse that was going on. That's why Sebastián didn't want to go stay with him, and that's why Katie didn't want to let him go. That's why every time they asked Seth if he was excited about coming to live with him, or Katie was, every time he's asked that, he says, well, Chris was trying to talk her into it. Chris was trying to talk. Why is Chris having to talk her into it? It's because she knows what abuse took place. She knows what Seth's done to that kid. His school teachers put these witness statements out that he hit the kid in the head. Neighbors, he left him home for extended amount of time. I mean, there's bruises in the pictures. There's bruises and marks in the videos. I mean, there's a video where he picks him up by his head. Why would you do that? Because he's like 6, 7 years old at the time he does this. They knew about his condition with his head at that time. I mean, if you're trying to protect this kid, why are you picking him up by his head? Why are you slapping him in the head? Why are you doing it at school? Why do you not care if somebody's around? Why are you just wandering in the living room in the nude? Why are you hounding your wife like that? So I think because of the domestic violence issues they had in California, that because they didn't give his weapons back, he's not allowed to carry a firearm. And I think he just didn't want to be a jailer anymore. They don't make a lot of money. It's a very selfless job. I mean, low pay, no recognition whatsoever, very monotonous. I think he's always going to be a law enforcement officer. Maybe a patrolman job came up, and he's like, man, I don't do that, you know. Put in for it, and they're like, we can't let you do that because the jailer does not carry a firearm. They're not allowed to carry a firearm in the facility. Even the deputies that come in off the street have to check their firearm into a locker when they get there. It's to prevent the inmates from taking over the jail. It's dangerous for someone to have a sidearm or something there. He wasn't allowed to carry a freaking gun in the jail, ever. He might have had a 12-gauge shotgun with a beanbag in it or something, but he didn't have any kind of live ammo with a handgun or anything. And I don't think he would have been allowed to legally possess that. And if you can't legally possess that, you can't be a patrol officer. You'll never rise in rank. Or maybe they were going to get rid of him anyway when they found out about the domestic violence in California. And whose fault is that? To him, Katie's fault. So how are you going to get back at her? Maybe I'll just go abduct my son, collect this GoFundMes, ride this thing out, and make it look like she's the guilty one because she's the only one here with him. I mean, he knows how to get through those neighborhoods. When he was at the Natchez Trace State Park, in the very beginning of all this, it's the only search you'll ever see him doing. It was a JLR. He gets in his truck, the one that's got the lawyer wrapped on the side of it, puts it in reverse, and you hear a backup alarm kick on. I mean, I don't know if that used to be, I don't know why he got a damn backup alarm on a Chevrolet truck, but I don't know why he got a lawyer on a Chevrolet truck either. But anyway, when Jay for Justice got the full flashlight video from whoever she got it from, she first played it. The one where you can see it says February 23rd, and it says 3/11, and it's just, those date and the times don't change. Whenever she plays that, there's audio with it. And when the flashlights go out of screen, there's just a second pause, and you'll hear a backup alarm. The neighbor says that's not 100% not a trash truck. The sun is up when the trash truck comes through. That's a separate incident where you can see the flashlights go across. My thing is, not a trash truck. Who the hell's got a backup alarm over there at that time of the night? Right? Why would you park? You go say, well, why wouldn't Seth just pull up to the house and, because of the damn backup alarm. I mean, you can draw some attention parked up in the construction area where maybe a backup alarm is not so suspicious. Maybe that's why there's tracks leading around there for 2 different people by that retention pond. And that dog track on Sebastian to the pond. But that was other Seth's boot print with his. Think about this. He's the only person besides Katie that probably could have went up there and coaxed that boy to come out of the house barefoot in the middle of the night. Told him to leave your phone, leave all your stuff. He wouldn't have come out of that house for anybody else for that. He would not have came out for anybody else. But he came out for Seth. What Seth does, I don't know, you know. But it's a 28-minute drive to where he works, so 56 minutes both ways. You knock, let's be conservative here. Just say you knock 5 minutes off of that. I mean, hour and a half lunch break, it's still leaving 40 minutes to do something with Sebastian. Drop him off somewhere, dispose of him somewhere. Nobody's searching up that way. Everybody thinks Seth Rogers is at work on that. I'm telling you, they all got a lunch break. They all got a lunch break. I guarantee you the TBI or whoever didn't go up there and sit and watch 12 hours of Seth Rogers on closed circuit TV to make sure he didn't walk out that door one single time. I'm sure they asked questions like, was he at work all night? Yeah, he was here all night. Here at the beginning of the shift, here at the end of the shift, you know. Well, I mean, It's not that strange for people to leave their workplace during a lunch break. No, especially if he don't have a time clock that he has to punch out for lunch and punch back in. I mean, who knows how long he was gone then? I think the only evidence would be in the closed circuit tapes they have there. And I mean, he may have been there all night. This may be a far reach, but to me, it makes more sense for him to have done something than it does for Katie doing something. Her actions afterwards and before just don't indicate that she was supposed to do something to her son. She didn't want to let him go be with her dad. She wanted him to stay at home. She wasn't trying to get rid of him. She wanted to keep him there. She took him out, and he's not an abused kid by her. She's not abused him. You can look at him. He's too happy when he's with her. He's at the ice hockey game. He's a happy kid. I mean, he's happy when he's bowling with her. Even the pictures she got from the day before he disappeared, he's a very happy kid. Her very first interview she done on camera was a very distraught mother that really missed her kid. I mean, you could tell from her rocking, the red eyes, her crying. And I mean, there's just too many things that point away from her and Chris. There's no evidence of him leaving the house. Okay, he comes out the door and Seth picks him up and takes him to the truck. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He would not have come out of that damn house without his shoes, his phone, or his game for anybody in this world, except for one of his parents that had some authority over him and that told him, leave that stuff here. Come on, I'm going to take you wherever for a minute and we'll be back. And who knows what happened. I mean, why would you open a GoFundMe 2 days after your kid's gone missing? You don't know how long he's going to be gone missing. What do you need a GoFundMe for? Why do you spend half of that $25,000 on some stranger's fucking mortgage payment and not use that for, you can buy a boat, drones, you can pay searchers. There's a lot you can do with that kind of money to help find your son that's missing. Unless he's not missing to you. He's not been searching for his kid at all. He's not done it. He has not been looking for his kid. He's not handing out flyers. After JLR left town, the only thing this dude done was got up and go to the Rudder restaurant and meet the group of volunteers that would come, and he would give them direction on where he wanted them to go hand out flyers. So he's the puppet master. He's pulling all the strings. He could divert all the searchers completely away from where Sebastián would be, right? He's the only person that could do it. He's the only one that was in the command center if the police told them don't come out and search. They had to kick him out. Why would you do that? Why would you risk that kind of information? Risk your son's life, be up in the middle of that shit, burn the bridges with law enforcement when you're in law enforcement, so they won't even tell you what's going on because they know that you're going to either run your mouth about it or there's some reason that you want to know that you shouldn't need to know what they're doing. I mean, if they wanted you in the command center, bring you in there. They wanted you out searching, they tell you to go out search. All three parents have said, they said for us not to go search. I mean, they ask you to do something. They're out looking for your kids. You got all these officers in the woods, risking their health and everything else to find your son, and you're going to go against their wishes at every turn. You're going to send out letters to people and tell them, hey, don't talk about me, but you also have to stop looking for and stop talking about my missing son. Does that make any kind of sense whatsoever? Not unless you did something to your kid, right? You've done something to him, yeah, you want everybody to shut up about it. You don't have to go away. A couple of years goes by, they declare him dead, you get life insurance money. You're set up. You're set up, he's been set up. He's been taking Venmo, Cash Out, PayPal, freaking GoFundMe. I mean, why is he the only one with life insurance on the kid? Why do you have life insurance on his kid? I mean, it doesn't make sense. Hell, my kid's 26. I've never had life insurance on them. So when I was in the military and they supplied the insurance, I never went out and bought a policy. It says buying a policy. I mean, I think he resented Katie so much that pressure built up on him so much, and this was a financial gain for him, and I don't know what he's done with Sebastián. But I do believe, I really honestly believe, if they go back and look at his closed circuit tape from February 20th, just all the damn lie detector don't make sense. All that. He's in law enforcement. He knows. They send you a letter. Eat, drink, sleep. Do not do any medications. What does he do? Don't sleep. all the medicine and stuff in so he could fall asleep during the test, because he knows if he falls asleep, he comes back inconclusive. I'm just telling you, don't believe this guy. He turns on the tears. It's like, it's crazy. I mean, he's sitting there 1 minute, talking fine, and then he's got a rag trying to blow his nose because somebody asks him a question he don't want to answer. He turns the tears on. Or he wants to make a plea to make Katie look bad. That's the only time he gets excited or emotional, is when he's talking about her and wanting her to look bad, or he wants people to look at him and feel sorry for him. I mean, he's got damn Bullhorn Betty running around up there. I don't know what this crazy ass woman's doing with her Fisher preschool night vision and her Barbie doll vest she's wearing around. And talking about how she's stealth searching or whatever with a Florida tag, wearing a hot pink vest in the middle. What the hell, woman? Come on. It's 115 days since the kid's been gone, and you're riding by their house up there. You're so fucking late to this party, it's not even funny. And well, I don't feel like he's here. Well, let me give you that idea. That's 10,000 people that's already searched that 1,000,000 times over. I mean, that might give you the idea. Why are you going to St. Jude's Children's Hospital when you know the bone that came out of there is from an ancient burial? You know they're doctors, you're not. You know they know if that's a recent deteriorating bone or if that's a bone that's been buried for 50 or 150 years or something. You know, they're not investigating as a homicide or anything. They clearly said it's an old burial, you know? What is wrong with you? And I mean, you contradict yourself so much, I swear to God. Seth, I believe you're guilty, bro. As a fucking dog, bro. I believe you have done something to your son, and it was all for money. And it was for attention, money, and to get back at Katie. Every bit of it. You could get everything you wanted with one task being done, and that's to do something with Sebastián, and nobody found out about it because Katie was the only one home alone with him. That is your ultimate punch to her. That is your ultimate, I'm gonna get your ass back for getting all my privileges taken for carrying firearms, and I'll never be able to work in law enforcement. I mean, dude, come on. I mean, they pay jailers like $8.50 an hour. It's a very, I mean, you look at people's nuts sagging up their butts every day. You get enjoyment out of that because you don't work on the women's side. I mean, I don't get it. I really don't get that. I believe when she had the domestic violence charges brought against you in California, they took your firearms because they didn't give them back to you. If you hadn't done anything, they gave you your firearms back before you left the state. It's that easy. They wouldn't have kept them all this time. You're talking 8-10 years, they still got my guns. They ain't giving them back because you cannot legally possess one. That's why, not in California, you ain't wearing one in the jail up there. But if you go on patrol for Davidson County Sheriff's Department, you've got to have a clean background check. And I believe that was the one hang up with it. I believe you resented her for that. I believe you didn't want to have to deal with Sebastián for the summer. You're fed up with that job that you got because it don't pay shit. I mean, you get treated like shit by these inmates. The people come in, DUI, everything else. You're not working at the down Brushy Mountain State Prison, Tennessee, bro. You work at the County Sheriff's Department. Get over it. I know a bunch of jailers. Most time they're kids, too. You just, I mean, where's your best friend that was with you at the Magistrate State Park? Says he's going to help you look for Sebastián until you find him. He helped you with that one fucking search, and he's gone. Everybody that's been close to you that has obtained any information about what's going on has either run like hell from it, or you have gotten rid of the ones that are going to blow the whistle. The Uvalde Foundation comes in and says, the parents no more, we're stepping away. All these searchers are getting kicked out. Death threats. Who's giving the death threats, Seth? Are you doing that, Seth? Yeah, you are. You're giving the threats. You're the only one that know where they're at to give them to. You know all their numbers. Who brought in the fake dog handlers, Seth? Who brings in this guy hanging his dick out, Seth? Who's drawing all the negativity? Why are you keeping that dude around you? Why? Birds of a feather flock together, right? You've got these women coming out with these allegations. Your mom's bouncing back and forth. She don't know what the fuck's going on because she probably suspects you too. She knows your history with your ex-wife. This is your ultimate jab at your ex-wife right here. until TBI goes back and watches every minute of that 12-hour video, I'm going to believe that that man left during his dinner break, didn't have to clock out, was gone for an hour and 15 minutes, and that was way more than enough time for him to go pick Sebastian up. He could have knocked him in the head, shot him, he could have done anything to him on the way back to the jail and just pitched him off a bridge. Nobody's searching there. They're going to Memphis. They're not going to Nashville from Hendersonville. They're going the opposite way. It's a perfect crime. Think about it. He goes to that house. He knows the house. He knows where the cameras are in the neighborhood. He knows that construction site's up there. You got that backup alarm. So that's all you got to do. Pull up there and park. If they hear a backup alarm, I'm at the construction site. They know nobody lives up here. Some more likely nobody gonna come look. They've been hearing backup alarms for months up there. That's those Brookstone houses, modular houses. I mean, they're building 3 a day or something up there, you know, and they're expensive out the ass too. But I believe Seth Rogers holds the key to this. He worked in law enforcement. He knows how to make the polygraph test not count. I mean, he wouldn't have took any medication. He'd have got some sleep. You don't go fall asleep in a damn polygraph test. Your son's missing. Your son is missing. You're not gonna go in there and fucking go to sleep. Come on. You're gonna be nervous, anxious. I don't give a shit how long you stay there. 3 days you can stay there. You're not gonna go to sleep. I don't believe you at all. They told you not to take any medication. Don't blame it on the medicine. You took it. You took it against their instruction. They should have never gave you another one and gave you a chance to clear that up. Nancy Grace should have hung your ass for that. That polygrapher should have hung your ass for that. TBI should have hung your ass for that. Sumner County should have hung your ass for that. You don't live in Sumner County though, do you? They're not over in Davidson County investigating. They're not over in that area. You don't live in their jurisdiction, right? So they're not even looking at you or where you could have dumped this boy, right? I'm just saying, think about it, people. Somebody proved to me that some officer went and sat down and watched 12 hours of video of Seth Rogers watching a closed circuit monitor that night, eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and playing Mortal Kombat with the blood turned on. And then I'll change my story. Thank you. Like, subscribe, share.